Yes, once upon a time, I sported one of those. I didn't have the mustache to go along with it, but I did. I'm a product of the 80s. I think just about at some time or another, all of us that grew up in the 80s, we sported that mullet. Business in front, party in the back. I rocked it.
Now, the men did this. I don't know how many women did
Yeah,
this.
the men.
I am also a product of the 80s. I did not do this. But as it turns out, we have a trophy-worthy style that's being shaped and sported right here in Northeast Ohio. And listen, they're competing for the ultimate crown. One and only Mike Polk Jr. could handle this one.
It's a courageous hairstyle known by many names. The Kentucky Waterfall, the Canadian Passport, the Beaver Paddle, the Achy-Breaky-Big-Mistakey, the Tennessee Tophat. But it's best known by its technical name, the mullet, a hairstyle in which the hair is cut shorter at the front and sides, but remains longer at the back. But of course, not all mullets are created equal. For example, the mullet I attempted to grow in junior high left much to be desired. The same can be said for friend and coworker Jay Crawford, seen here in his freshman college ID picture. Neither of our North Carolina neck warmers is anywhere close to being worthy of consideration for the USA Mullet Championships, an annual competition that seeks out the most impressive mullets in the country. But I'm happy to report that the Cleveland area does have some representation in this year's tournament, thanks to the talent and artistry of this man.
I am Brandon Mercer. We're at Ian's Hometown Barbershop in Mentor, Ohio.
Brandon Mercer has been sculpting mullets and other less remarkable hairstyles at Ian's Hometown Barbershop in Mentor for years now. But it wasn't until recently that his work took on national prominence, when a mullet that he created became a top 25 finalist in this prestigious event.
I heard about the competition a couple years ago. I'm not one for hair competitions, but I figured if there's ever one I wanted to win, it would be the USA Mullet Championship. I saw some of the guys competing and I was like, man, I got a client that would just be perfect for this. And I told him from the beginning, I said, I think we could do it.
How do you craft the perfect mullet?
You gotta have a guy with good hair. You gotta have a guy with good hair and a guy that can sell it.
But enough mullet talk. It was time to meet Brandon's muse.
Come on out, Rich.
Rich Barron has been rocking this look for 2 years now. He says it's a real conversation starter.
I think it's a very polarizing haircut. I feel like I either get that's an amazing haircut or why do you have a mullet? I kind of did it as kind of like a joke and I kind of ran with it, you know what I mean? So
I mean, it's working.
I owned it, you know what I mean?
How do you feel knowing that you have one of the best 25 mullets in America?
I feel like it gives me justification for my horrible fashion choices.
Upon checking out the top 25 remaining contenders, I found that there aren't a lot of weak spots. Nothing but heavy hitters throughout. These are, after all, the best of the best, and it's clearly going to be a tough finals round.
I feel pretty good about it. I mean, I'm just kind of doing me. I've always kind of done me. I'm kind of like a walk my own path kind of guy, so if I can represent the barbershop and everybody else by walking my own path, that's great.
It's been a weird ride.
Yeah, weird ride, yeah.
Nobody else I'd rather take it with.
But if you'd like to see the fellas bring home the hardware to the CLE, they say you can help.
I would appreciate if everyone would, go out there and vote and represent, Cleveland, because I'm trying to represent Cleveland, Ohio.
As the Guardians begin their march towards an MLB championship, is it too ambitious for us to dream of Cleveland winning 2 major titles this fall? Only time will tell. This is Mike Polk, checking out Mississippi Mudflaps for 3 News.
Oh my gosh.
I'm sure he made this up. The Achy-Breaky-Big-Mistakey. I'd never heard that before.
I haven't heard it either.
But that sounds like something Mike would come up with.
Kudos, Polk Jr., yes, if that was you, for sure. And hey, you should have heard the gasps when his picture came up.
That was me. I told you I did it. By the way, Brandon and Rich are really hoping that 3 News viewers come out and support their mullets. You can go to our website. The final round of voting opens today, so let one of them bring home the mullet championship. Or we used to call it, in France, the moulet.
When were you in France?
Never. But if we wanted to sound fancy, we would say, do you like my moulet?
Yeah. No.